Anchor's upsells it full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing right, Jared. How are you?
Doing good. It is a new tradition. It is a good tradition. All right. Turn the noise gate on. All right. What do we got on the docket for today?
We got another episode of Scarlet and Grade, Purdue edition here. Buckeyes leave West Lafayette with a 34-10 victory. It's really interesting looking at the stats. Again, stats don't tell the whole story,
Of course.
of a game here. But if you look at the stats here, Ohio State had their way. With Purdue
way?
here. And sure, you can look at that. They had 34 points. They had almost 500 total yards. They held Purdue to under 200 yards. Ohio State was 9 for 13 on third downs, 33% third downs for Purdue. You're like, yeah, Ohio State took care of business, but it's different. It's hard for me to put into words like this game here, because there's times when you're like, come on, like players aren't playing to their full potential. There's just too many mistakes. How many? I was trying to see if I can quickly find how many penalties Ohio State had, because it felt like there was an unusual number of penalties in this game here. It was just sloppy. I guess it's probably the word you want to use. It was a sloppy game overall.
Sure. I think there's a spot on the report card for this, so I'm jumping the gun a tad. But I think we've given this team and just Ryan Day teams in general, I think we've given them a lot of credit for not having letdown games against obviously lesser opponents. They always seem to show up ready, motivated, executing. Whether it be Tressel or even Urban, there were games where they'd be playing a lesser opponent and they'd come out and kind of sleepwalk for a while. And I would say, generally speaking, Ryan Day's teams don't do that nearly as much. But they were kind of sleepwalking for this game a bit. They don't score in the first quarter. There's kind of a crap block in the back call against Jeremiah Smith that took a great run off the board. If that run doesn't get called off the board, this podcast maybe has a totally different tone. Probably has a totally different tone. The rushing statistics would look better. We wouldn't have that to complain about. You'd have scored really quickly. So, we wouldn't be looking at a first quarter score in which you're losing to Purdue. Not that it matters. Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? We're no longer playing in the BCS AP dominated style points, eye test stuff. You're just very much in a, hey, just keep winning your games and you'll be fine territory. And quite frankly, I think Ryan Day kind of coaches the games like that. He's not going for style points. He's trying to shorten games. He's trying to limit snaps. And as much as we would, actually probably really love to see Ohio State be up 34-0 at the end of the first half instead of the end of the third quarter, it's not what we saw.
Sure.
Or they got those 10 points in the third quarter. So that's not even what we saw. But you understand my point.
Yeah. Before we go into the report card, two side, well, a couple of things I saw on the offensive side, because defense, I'm fine with how the defense was. Yes, they let up the field goal in the first quarter. Sucks, sure. It seems like every team has that one good drive. in them all game. And that was their one drive. Yes, they scored a last minute touchdown at the end of the game. Whatever.
Who cares?
3 points from the main starters there.
A lot of people.
That's a win. That's a huge win. Now, offensively,
for reasons.
Yeah, offensively, I think there was just some. I think you probably nailed it, Jared, with the running, the big play from Bo Jackson that got called back, and it just felt like everybody was just kind of like, just always being down on everything else that was going on with the team. Just, if it wasn't perfect, if it wasn't going well, it was a failure. It was kind of the feel, the feedback I was kind of perceiving from a lot of the fan base here. But how I took this team here, like, as we've seen all year, just taking control of the ball, just limiting the number of possessions that the team have. That's how they've been all game. They had 6 drives. 6 of their 9 drives, Jared, were over 5 minutes in length. One of them that was 8.5 minutes. They dominated the time of possession. 41 minutes to 19 minutes.
That's insane.
Absurd. That tells you how the dominance that the defense was. Dominance.
Spike's good stat. But he goes, after the Purdue field goal, their next 5 drives went 4 plays, 2 plays, 3 plays, 5 plays, 3 plays. And in that same time span, Ohio State went touchdown, field goal. Yeah,
here you go. If you, I know you see it too, Spikes, but that's exactly what I was about to say here. Getting into the second part here about the offense, we saw just a glimpse. We saw a glimpse, and then we'll get right into the grading here, Jared. We saw a tiny glimpse at the end of the first half what Ryan Day can do when he's like, all right, let's do tempo, let's get some points, and we saw that.
Yeah.
You look at the drives. Ohio State first drive, 12 plays. After the punt, 9 plays, 75 yards, 10 plays, 89 yards, 9 plays, 30 yards. And all of those took over 5 minutes to eat up the clock. And then all of a sudden, hey, we only have 47 seconds left on the clock. 7 plays, 45 yards, only 44 seconds. That tells me that he can crank that into 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever gear, however many gears this team has. When they need to.
We saw it in the third quarter against Penn State as well. I think we talked about this last week, where we saw the playoff offense in the third quarter last week. I think we kind of saw the playoff offense for, the last drive or two this week of the second quarter.
Sure.
But we really need to get into the report card.
I know. I just wanted to make that point.
We're
there.
all good.
And I think they did in the broadcast as well. They've ran so many less plays than the average, and it's pretty much one less game than the average team is running play wise too.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm breaking things on the visuals. You keep talking.
I will keep talking. All right, we're going to do this quickly though, Jared. I know we spent a lot of time up front here, but we're going to go quickly through the report card here, starting with the offense. Yeah, quickly in quotes, yes. Game plan. I was fine with the game plan. We knew that Purdue going in here wasn't all that great on the defensive side. I mean, overall, it was not all that great too. So trying to, Ryan Day, hey, we got to establish a run. That's something weak that we need to work on. Ran it 43 times here. You didn't get a lot of the big plays that you're wanting to, other than the one that got called back. But I didn't mind the game plan. So I'll say an A-. Yeah, you rushed for 100. Minus the sacks. Yeah, it was 193 yards. But with the sacks, 43 attempts, 170 yards, 4 yards on average.
And again, I think the rushing numbers look a lot better, if not for a very questionable call.
A- for mine, Jared.
Okay. I'll go. I think I'll do an A- as well. Spikes will go with a regular A.
All right. In-game coaching. I don't mind with how the coaches were playing calls.
We're calling plays.
Yeah, thank you. I don't mind. I don't have an issue, so I'll just say an A.
Yeah, we got Link in there at one point. That was fun. Gonna go ahead and throw that on the tape.
They got Nate Roberts trying to play fullback for a play.
Yeah, and it totally went great.
Sure.
But hey, you know what? You put it on the tape. Now the other teams have to be aware of it, which is kind of what a Purdue game is for. Got to mess around with Tate out. Here's the thing, they didn't. And then like when the first quarter doesn't go well, they pulled the actual offense out of the garage and played with that for a little bit, and then sort of lackadaisically moved through the second half, which again I'm fine with.
All right, quarterback. 27 for 33. Still an absurdly percentage. 82%. I think we were on that over there. I think Austin said over under 80%, and we're like, I mean, he keeps doing it, so let's do it.
I think Austin's number was like 77, wasn't it? Or something like that. But yeah, it was, and he hit it. And like we can't do an A+ on a day when you throw across your body late for an interception. You can't do that. I'm sorry. You're no longer
lower.
You're no longer a freshman at this point. Sorry. You don't get freshman expectations anymore.
Nope. Especially when you're leading in the Heisman.
Is he still?
Quote rankings. I don't know if it's updated or not. I don't know. Last I heard, like he was leading it.
I'm sure it's either him or Mendoza.
November. Yeah.
And honestly, who cares?
I'm going to say a B. I'm going to say B. B+. Let's say B+ for that.
That feels rough. I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, an interception in the end zone, and the game would have felt much better too. We talked about you mentioned about the big run that went for a touchdown was removed. There was 7 points right there that could have been added on as well too.
Kyle, 27 of 33, 303 yards, 82% completion percentage. For whatever the quarterback rating's worth, he was 162.9.
I know, but that interception in the red zone is
which is why he got. Yeah, that's why I knocked him down to an A-. Anyway, we're splitting hairs.
Sure.
Run blocking.
I gotta say a C. I gotta say a C here. The run blocking is, like, what is going on? What is going on? There's not enough.
It looked good at times, but against this defensive line, it should have looked good at times.
Yeah. Something's got to change here. There's not enough leverage, not enough push from this offensive line when they're trying to establish the run here. Thankfully, we have Jackson and West that have looked good. They've had they had pretty good averages for the game. But
we did.
Yeah.
Ohio State was down 2 offensive linemen for this game. Now, one of them isn't necessarily a starter, but has been playing a lot. In Padilla, we got to Ian Moore got to play a lot. So it wasn't the normal offensive line, but yeah, they kind of played like the normal offensive line, which is that they pass blocked well enough, but didn't necessarily run block all that great as we transition into pass blocking. That being said, they did give up 2 sacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna say expectations. This offensive line does so much better on the pass blocking.
Yeah,
more so than the run blocking.
He got hit.
He got hit quite a bit 2 sacks as well in this one.
Well, one of those was
expectations that's been going on here. I'm going to say like a B. I'll say B on the pass block.
One of those was on West. He just really missed the linebacker pickup on the blitz, but we are talking about pass blocking. So we are grading pass blocking as a whole.
Yeah.
But just in defense of the offensive line, really the offensive line only gave up 1 sack. I'll go. It was Purdue, B-.
All right. And
that was running. Their 4th and 5th sack of the season. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's sort of like, as a unit, as a season, they're still doing tremendous. Considering the competition level they're playing in this game, they can and should do better.
All right. Before we get to the running one, we'll take our first ad break real quick. We are the Sloopcast. You can find us over at thesloopcast.com, where you can find all of our great links, such as our YouTube page. You can also head on over to youtube.thesloopcast.com. Anything I say here, just add in .thesloopcast.com, and you're going to find all of our other lovely sites: Discord page, Patreon, our 7071 store, merch store, our playlist as well. Enjoy a lot of the playlists that you can listen to on the podcast version. You can find all those playlists over at thesloopcast.com. We'll go ahead and take that ad break and be right back.
All right. Running.
All right, running. I'm going to say like an A- for the running backs. I thought overall the running backs did really well running the ball. At times they were put into tough positions and made something out of nothing here. So I really like. Bo seems to be pretty much healthy, and West saw a lot of action. 9 rushing attempts, 60 yards, 6.7 a pop there. Yeah, I really like what I see out of West here. So I'll say an A- for the running backs.
Well, for running, if we're doing running backs, yes. I might punish Isaiah West a little bit more for his pass blocking abilities, but we're talking about running.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think the run blocking was all that spectacular. But yet, Jackson 5.4, Isaiah West 6.7, Donaldson, doesn't necessarily show in the stats, except for the fact that he has 2 touchdowns, had a good game. Yeah, I thought the running backs did good. Hey.
All right, and receivers.
All right, so let's grade with the understanding that Carnell Tate did not play. Surprisingly.
Is there anything bad that the receivers did?
Part of the reason why the first drive didn't go anywhere is because we did have was it Mylan Graham drop a ball he really should have caught over the middle that killed that drive.
Fair.
Freshman. He's a freshman. He's a very talented player. He'll be fine. He'll bounce back. He'll be good. He took a shot too, though. No. Yeah, I'm not saying it was a bad drop. And it wasn't.
Heard footsteps.
Yeah, I would say it was probably more that. It wasn't like an egregious drop, but it was a pass he should have caught. But yeah, I mean, overall, okay. Max Clare had a really good game. Jeremiah Smith had a great game. Brandon Ennis did really well. And just sort of collectively, Rogers gets 2. Nate Roberts gets 2. Mylan Graham gets a catch for 20 yards. The running backs had a decent day catching the ball. I thought the receiving did, especially considering you're missing Carnell Tate, who I've seen projected as a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. A+. You lose one of the best wide receivers in the country, and it honestly didn't even slow you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say, I was saying A. I'll stick with just a solid A. Just all absurd stats. It's just absurd stats looking at Jeremiah Smith here. Like it's just hilarious. How many games now? I'm going to have to look this and maybe post this in our Discord page, Jared. How many games?
Discord.com. Always be plugging.
Yes, always be plugging. Yes. How many games has it been where targets to Jeremiah Smith is equal to the number of catches that he's had?
He doesn't miss.
10 targets to Jeremiah Smith, 10 catches.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually kind of crazy.
All right, drives. Ohio State had drives and conversions. 9 drives, 6 scoring drives, and was... There we go. 9 for 13 on third downs, which is really good. Yeah. Really good. You're at 69%.
Nice.
Third down conversions. Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah, I mean,
only
you
one
penalize
field,
a little. You have to penalize a little bit for the turnover in the red zone there. That
sure, absolutely.
You'll learn through that though. Yeah, and that ninth drive shouldn't count either. So sure, 8 drives, 6 of those were scoring. So
yeah, obviously there was
an A minus.
And obviously there was a fourth quarter field goal, but the second quarter field goal was because of the clock on a really good drive. So you can't count that against them. Yeah. I thought I'm not going to give an A+ simply because it was Purdue. You didn't score in 2 of the quarters. It's Purdue. You could have gone a little harder. I'll just do a regular A.
Like those kind of long drives.
I know.
We'll do that.
I understand.
Where it's like, oh, you didn't score any. Oh, you only scored 7. Yeah.
But it was Purdue.
Sure. A- for me.
Okay. Why were you arguing and then give a worse grade than I did?
I wasn't arguing. I was agreeing with you. Jeez.
Okay. Sound like you were making excuses.
Sure. All right. Explosive plays. Where's it at? I just had it. Big plays. Ohio State had, oh boy, a lot of big plays in this game here, Jared. 8 passing plays of 15 yards or more and 7 rushing plays of 10 or more yards. This was a big big play. It was a big play game here. So I got to give an A+. I'm going to add the plus in here. They made some big plays in this game here. And again, showing how this team like loves these long drives, and the team's the defenses that Ohio State has played is trying to like a shell defense, like everything in front of them, which Ohio State has to do the shorter plays to get what the defense
or
is
just
giving
throw
you,
it to Jeremiah Smith when he's
put,
triple covered anyway, and deliver it in the absolute most perfect ball position possible, and just have him beat the triple team for a touchdown. That's also available to you.
Yeah, A+. I think
I'll match that.
Sure. All right. Right to the defense here. Game plan. I mean, we knew Purdue's offense was not all that great here.
Yeah.
And yeah, 186 yards that they led up, 10 points. Sure, maybe you can just say 3 points by the first team. Sure.
Yeah, 7 of those against the backup squad.
I gotta say an A. I was saying A. I was very very happy with what I saw overall. Yeah, it sucks that second drive. They had a very long drive, 12 plays, 70 yards, 5.5-minute drive. Sure, but
it was one.
That's why you're not getting the plus.
Yeah, that's kind of perfectly said, Kyle. That's why you're not getting the plus, but you're still getting an A. I think that's totally valid.
In-game coaching, A as well too. I don't really have much more to say. A as well. There wasn't really much change that they needed to do against Purdue, so I'm not going to say anything negative. So A.
I'm actually going to throw the plus here. They let up the one long drive and then totally shut things down, at least with the starters in after that point. That's sure. You made adjustments. I like that there was a pretty decent mix through the game where you saw some of the back. I saw like Pettijohn and some of the defensive backups in the game, like onesie twosies in the lineup early on. I like that they take the opportunity that is the Purdue game to, just reach into the depth chart a little bit. I like the in-game coaching. A+.
Okay. Tackling. I think it was early on. Ohio State
there was that one drive.
It was the one drive. Yeah. It was the one drive
and honestly,
where there were some tackling issues,
and honestly, it was kind of just I'm not going to say who, but it was also kind of just the one person.
Sure. But other than that one drive, all of the other drives that Purdue has had. So it's the other seven drives I was fine with. So I'll say A.
I'll go A+.
All right. Run stop. They did a great job up until that last drive when they just were able to run the ball on Ohio State's second, third teams, freshman teams, whatever you want to call it. Though, Ohio State did a really good job. Let me find the by quarters here, because the final numbers don't do justice, because the final numbers show that
first quarter 2.6 on the ground.
Purdue ran the ball 4.2 yards per rush as the final stat. Okay. But you look at it per 2.6 yards in the first quarter. They were 6 yards in the second quarter, 6 yards per carry in the second quarter, but they only ran it 4 times.
Sure.
So 3.8 yards total in the first half. And then the third quarter, they only ran it 4 times for 3.5 yards. And then they upped it more in the fourth quarter. They averaged over 5 yards a carry in the fourth quarter, and they ran the ball a lot in that one. I would say overall, I would say an A.
And as Spikes points out in the chat, they were without Maccabee in this game.
Fair.
So maybe that does lower the expectations a tad.
Sure.
So he's going to go A-. I'm going to agree with him and say A-.
Yeah,
as well.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that too. All right, pass rush. 0 sacks. 0 sacks in this one. Yes, quarterback did get uncomfortable back there. Had to move around at times too. But yeah. I would expect Ohio State to have been able to get some more sacks in here. The Purdue was averaging quarterback sacks per play at just over 5% of the time, which is 52nd in the country, and Ohio State got 0. I feel like Ohio State should have been able to get home at least a couple of times in this game, but I'll say B. I'll say B for pass rush.
There were a lot, and I mean a lot, of 3-man rushes this game.
There were, yes.
Some 2-man rushes, yeah. And as Spike says, or as Esquire says, they played a lot of intentional contain on the rush. They were basically just daring Purdue to throw the ball. And
sure. So what's your grade, Jared?
Yeah, it's hard because the pass rush wasn't productive, but they also didn't necessarily game plan for it to be all that productive. But at the same time, Purdue's offensive line's not all that great. So even if you're not game planning for it to be productive, maybe it still should be productive. B-, I guess.
Okay. All right, before we go to the pass coverage, we're going to take our second ad break here, and we'll get to finishing our ratings here. Again, thesloopcast.com, your link for anything, everything Sloopcast related. We'll point out our Discord page, discord.thesloopcast.com. If you want to chat with Jared and I, the rest of the Sloopcats, the rest of anybody else that's joined our Discord family, head on over to discord.thesloopcast.com. A lot of great interaction, especially on the weekends with Ohio State, college football. If you're into the NFL or into any other professional sports, there's a lot of different channels for your cup of tea. Big open family here, and we'll welcome anybody who wants to join with open arms, as long as you agree to the terms and conditions that you are an Ohio State fan, and that
you bow down to the greatness that is Ohio State, and that you not talk politics in the Discord, because that's also against the rules.
That too. You can find that and much more over at thesloopcast.com. Take that ad break and be right back.
Quick thoughts on the pass rush. My current conspiracy theory: why is Ohio State so often not pursuing the quarterback that much? Whether it be 3-man rushes or playing a lot of contain. They're planning for Underwood. No. I think my current thought is that, we've talked about this on the podcast for years now, that the sort of the book against Ohio State is get rid of the ball quickly, get rid of the ball quickly, get rid of the ball quickly. I can't help but wonder if they're trying to give other teams like a sense of security that they don't have to get rid of the ball quickly. And then when they really feel like they need to get a pass rush, then they can send a linebacker or two and get to the quarterback immediately.
Sure.
That's sort of the vibe I think I'm starting to get. It's like selecting when, lulling into a false sense of security that you might have some time to throw the ball, and right when they start to feel secure in that ability to throw the ball, you take it away from them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. That might be copium. I'm not sure, but that's sort of the theory I've been rolling around in my head for a bit.
Sure. All right, moving on to pass coverage real quick. I thought it was fine. Didn't really have any big issues with the defensive backs or just coverage in general here. Yeah, held them to 94 yards. Yeah, that was crazy good. Another game where they held an opponent to under 100 yards. Like that's absurd. That's absurd here. A+. I'm going to say A+ here.
Kyle,
the first team didn't allow a passing touchdown. They did on their last drive when, again, other players were in there too. Very, very happy with what I saw from the pass coverage side. A+.
Kyle, what did you say when we were talking about the game plan? That second drive is why you don't get the plus? That second drive is why you don't get the plus. I'm going with just a standard.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Impact plays.
They did also get a pick. That's a good point, Spikes.
Ohio State got an interception, resulted in a touchdown. So that's that's a big plus in that way there.
Stops. We talked about literally every drive except the second drive, at least with the starters in, and how they basically went on a string of drives where Purdue only had 5 plays or less. I think even with the second drive, I'm going to give them the plus on that. And you talked about 2-1 on the play clock, or not on the play clock, on the time of possession. That's crazy work. I'll say A+.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I would say A+. A+ as well.
Would have liked to see the backups not give up a touchdown though.
Yeah, I think we all did. A lot of people.
For reasons.
For reasons, yes.
Yeah.
All right, and don't break.
Don't break. Did Purdue have any big plays?
They had 4. They had only one passing play that went more than 15 yards. And that was on that was on the that second drive that ended up being a field goal. And then they had 3 rushing plays. They first drive, second quarter, and third quarter, which was 10, 12, and 10 yards. Nothing huge on the rushing either, too. So I'm going to say A+. I'll add the plus there. Like it wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent of getting big plays like Ohio State did. Like I said, Ohio State had crazy amount of big plays. What was that? 15 big plays there. So I'll add the plus.
I believe you mean ex-girlfriend, Austin.
I'm sorry to hear if there's issues going on, Austin, but all right. We're going to move on to the overall. We're going to move on to the overall here. All right. In-game coaching. Average up to
Austin, you said ex-wife instead of ex-girlfriend. I know the joke. I invented the joke. I was there. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were doing the other joke.
All right. A for in-game coaching. We'll just rapid fire these, Jared.
Yeah, that's what we always say.
Well, we're doing it right now. Quick. Right. In-game coaching.
In-game coaching. A. A's good. Right.
Motivation, effort.
We're gonna dig this.
I'm gonna say B.
I'm gonna say
minus.
C. He's gonna throw in a last second minus on that. We got a B- and a C in the chat, so they're sharing our
average that out to a C+.
C+. Then. Yeah,
sure. All right. Execution. I mean, there wasn't really anything that was like, other than maybe a drop pass here by a true freshman in that first drive. I thought the execution was there. I thought the execution was there.
I don't think so. I think there was a lot of issues with blocking assignments.
Sure.
Just overall sloppy play.
I was thinking a B overall.
I'm gonna go like a C+, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And we got a B in the chat there as well. So great minds think alike here. All right, discipline. 6 penalties for 63 yards. That's a lot. That was a lot here. The one was a bullcrap call that we all will agree with the first play there.
It was a tacky call. Then there was the pass interference call on Iggy, which by the rule is technically correct.
And then there was a false start and a holding on the offense. So that's 3 on the offense. Then there's 4 on the defense, but 1 wasn't called. Wasn't accepted. So we had the pass interference on Iggy, face mask on Aaron Scott Jr. And then there was the roughing the passer, which sure, maybe it was. I thought it was a bang bang, but
I don't know. They didn't really cover it that much during the broadcast. I thought it was Has it been 2 years without the other team getting flagged for pass interference? No. There was a pass interference call, I think, just last week, wasn't there?
I think there was, yeah.
That streak ended. Now,
it's the holding.
It's the holding that is nearing 2 years. Ohio State's defense apparently has not been held for 2 years. In Big Ten play. I think they did get a call during the other
Notre
referees.
Dame game they did.
Yeah, the other conference referees haven't got the memo. But the Big Ten refs know never to call a holding call in Ohio State's favor.
Sure.
The anniversary was the other week. It's been over 2 years, Jared. Okay.
All right, special teams. Solid A. I'll give it solid A.
What were our grades on discipline?
Discipline, I
was going to say a B.
I'll say a C.
That's fair.
A for special teams. Yeah, Z spikes. That's why they don't get the plus. An A.
They had some good looking returns. Field goals looked good. Punts actually looked pretty good. I don't have any complaints here.
Career best in field goal, by the way, Jared.
Yeah.
That was a boot. This was a
solid special teams game for Ohio State.
49 yard and a 45 yard by fielding. Absolutely. Yes.
Kyle's going to hold
an A++.
Kyle's going to hold the plus out unless there's a return touchdown. I'm not going to be as strict. I'm going to give him the plus. I thought it was a good special teams day. We've called special teams an issue on this team. I think we have to grade based off of the fact that we've been complaining a lot about the special teams. And, grade on that curve. Turnovers.
Fielding has been, I would say Fielding has been really good this year.
He has been.
11 for 13. 11 for 13 for this year, along with 49 that we just saw this weekend here. 2 for 2, which so happened to be in this game here, between 40 and 49 yards. So yeah, turnovers. You get one, you take one, or excuse me, you give one, you take one. So they even out there.
No,
I'm gonna say C though, because the one turnover
in the end zone,
the turnover that the defense did end up for 7 points, but the offense that gave up the turnover left 7 points on the board there because it was right there in the red zone as well too. So I'm going to say C. I'm going to grade it a lot lower just because of that turnover in the red zone.
It was a more valuable turnover that Ohio. Well, like we had the same conversation last week about the fumble and how it was worth more than the interception. Kyle says C. I'll say C+.
Mm-hmm. All right, and overall offense, sloppy. Get the job done though. So I'll say overall with the defense, looking at there's quite a bit of A's.
Time out. Overall offense?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It was sloppy overall. There's a lot of A's, B's. I see a C there. So averaging out, I'll say B+. I'll say B+ there.
Yeah. That feels at least approximately right. They should have been able to run better against Purdue.
100%, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to be minus.
And defense, very solid. The first team only letting up 3 yards. Oh, not 3 yards. What would that have been? Something. 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, A. I'll say A. Solid A.
Yeah, I agree. I think a good old fashioned A is here.
And overall, Ohio State 34-10.
Didn't cover.
Did not cover. First time that they lost. Well, depending on which one you looked at, but I'll say A-. A- for my overall grade.
Chad also says A-. I'm saying B+.
On the same wavelength. All right, and that is our scorecard. Anything else, Jared?
That honestly depends upon if you have anything in Kyle's corner or not.
A lot of movement on the
recruiting front.
On the recruiting front, yes. I know the Ohio State got a boom as we were recording this morning or this evening here. Earlier, we had a 4-star defensive lineman, Emmanuel Ruffin, makes his verbal commitment to Ohio State, who decommitted from Colorado. Originally, he is from the state of Alabama. So Ohio State doesn't get that many from Alabama, Louisiana, but here's one in Alabama here. That's a good get there if Ohio State can hold on to him. He's a depending on which one you're looking at, he's like a top 150 recruit there, 4-star. So yeah, that's a good get for Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else in Kyle's corner?
I don't think the booms are going to slow down here. I think we're going to get some more. So head on over to discord.thesloopcast.com and we can discuss in there.
All right. We're good?
We're good.
Are we done? Are
we're
we
done.
good? Are we done? All right, tonight's ending music will be brought to you by a punk band from the Dayton area. They are called, or is it Cincinnati? It's one of the two. It's either Cincinnati or Dayton. They are called the Raging Nathans. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, these are the Raging Nathans.